Hi, Anna from Flow and Purpose here. Thank you for joining me today. And the topic that I want to discuss with you today is about the context we find ourselves in. And very often, the context we find ourselves in is toxic. So, how do we deal with this toxicity? Are we even aware of it? These are the important themes I want to cover with you today. So, self-care can work if we know what we're up against. And what I want to invite you to start doing is to consider how you're being affected by your environment, by one of the most interesting things in our society with the invention now of artificial intelligence and moving to more and more sophisticated models, is how this will change the environment that we're living in. And our moral conditioning and our moral reasoning are premised on the fact that our environment is neutral. So we're there as agents and we act in the world, and the environment is a neutral, static environment. But what is happening now more and more is that AI agents will start acting in that environment. And the worrying thing is that we very often will not be aware of that. So even now online, a lot of the things that you read online, even though you perhaps assume they're written by humans, they're written by AI. And in the old days, at the beginning of this AI boom, you could spot which texts were written by AI because very often they would have emojis on every line and these kind of easy giveaways. But that is no longer the case, and the texts now are indistinguishable more or less from what a human would write. And it's going to permeate in all areas. So also with video. A while back, I had the eerie experience of having signed up to 2 online offerings, which were both billed as live events from a certain billionaire marketeer. It was my first little dive into that world of marketing, and I couldn't believe what I saw. But in any event, the fact that I was signed up to 2 live events and they were both presented as taking place live, which of course they were not unless he has managed to master the yogic power of being at the same time in 2 places, just shows you the power of the technology that we're dealing with. And there was no disclosure I assumed that he was live in one of the events and the other one was pre-recorded. There were, I believe, members of the team who were interacting in the chat, so it did have this live feel to it. I believe these days you could probably do that without physical team members and just with AI technology. And even cloning yourself is possible in the sense of the video images that you see, that they're not of you, but just having trained an AI visual model with a couple of minutes of video that is genuine, you will be able to have your AI representation indistinguishable from real life to deliver whatever speech you want to give in any language that you want to give, and even the synchronization of the movements of the mouth are so that if I would now be speaking Chinese, the AI modeled Anna would be moving the lips synchronously to the Chinese text. So just to let you know, in case you've not dived into this world and you possibly think, oh, that doesn't affect me. What I find one of the most disconcerting developments, and of course all this technology can be used for good, and I'm sure it is being used for good, but what we're missing is any kind of sign that what you're interacting with, the content that you're consuming, that is not human produced. So you could be on the telephone speaking to what you believe is a person from company, and that is just an AI model, but it's so sophisticated that you would not know. And that's my point about paying attention what it is in your environment, who you are interacting with, what it is that you're doing with your time, and making their conscious choices and staying informed. I believe a lot of what is now this boom will be used for commercial gain, and it will be just the usual online exploitation, only multiplied in enormous amounts. It could be that the internet becomes unusable if all the content is generated by a non-human intelligence and being swamped so that you will not be able to distinguish. So that's why I believe also developing your intuition is an incredibly important task, because it is through our intuition that we can discern what it is that we're interacting with and whether what we interact with is healthy for us. So please let me know if some of this resonates with you and what your experiences have been. I've also had what I believe was a very intriguing, healthy interaction with what I believe is an AI model. Again, it was not revealed that this customer service representative was not a person, and it's only after the conversation that I reflected on the conversation, and I thought, you know what, I think I spoke to an AI model, and I just did not realize it. I was searching for accommodation here, and I'd called an international student accommodation in London to try and find him a spot. And I was interacting with what I believed at the time was a lady. She was extremely friendly, and she asked me possibly the crucial question that this AI model is trained to ask is, the person that you will be applying for a place to stay, are they enrolled in a university course? And at that time, that was not the case. So therefore, I had to say that that isn't the case. And what came out, what I was told, was a very soothing answer to my nervous system. She expressed incredible empathy in the fact that I would be disappointed in hearing this. And it was said with such beautiful, empathetic tone, and that I really felt like, oh, I was being really seen in that moment. And my internal reaction to this was to think, oh, what a sweet lady. And I could even feel my whole nervous system relaxing. In the course of the conversation, because I'd stayed in similar accommodation in London as a student, I weaved this reference into the conversation. And this is the point when I realized that this is not a person, but quite likely an AI model. At least that's what led me later to infer this. Because there was no adequate reaction to this, and a human would be able to react to this so-called pointless information, but for the AI model that was not probably something at that point that it was trained to do. So I thought, oh, how strange that there's no really adequate reaction to this fact that I'm sharing. But for a second time in this conversation, I was reassured, and I was being told that my emotions were being seen, of being disappointed that there was not going to be a place for my son there. And for a second time, I felt my whole nervous system relaxing in this conversation. So it is only afterwards, on reflection, that I thought, no, this is actually an AI model, but this is to show you how this technology could also be very helpful. I felt much better after this conversation, but I would have definitely appreciated knowing that I was not conversing with a person. And at the moment, there's no laws that would mandate that, and very often interactions, without us realizing it, are with these kind of non-human intelligence, artificial intelligence. So please let me know from what I've shared if you've had similar experiences, how you have felt, and whether you also believe that by tuning in to the inside, to tuning in into your intuition, whether that's a step in our evolutions as humans in adapting to this new environment we find ourselves in. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to speaking again.